I'm sure most of you have heard two-factor authentication. Some of them will call it two-way authentication. Anyways, if you're using WhatsApp, Instagram, or Facebook, I am sure that this term is not new to you because it is an important part of registering, an account with any of the social media platforms, just to ensure that your data, your messages are safe from outside interference, from those who might want to spy on your information and all of that. However, the issue of data security remains key on the front burner in Nigeria today. Reports have emerged of a sensitive personal information, including financial and identity data, being sold online, leaving millions of Nigerians vulnerable to fraud, identity theft, and other malicious activities. Now, this is going to be the conversation for the day, talking about how Nigerians' data, including their BVN, their NIN, among other data, including bank information, are being sold online. The phone lines are open now for you to call in with your questions, comments, concerns, and contributions on this issue, as that is what we'll be talking about. Now, this shocking and terrifying violation of privacy has sparked outrage and raised questions about the responsibility of data handlers, the effectiveness of our data protection laws, and the measures needed to safeguard our personal information. Now we're going to take a deep dive into this crucial issue and explore ways to protect our private data. So please share your experiences, share your thoughts, share your comments. I know quite a number of Nigerians, have experienced that situation where an unknown number just calls you and they say they are so-so person from so-so bank. They call your date of birth and they call some other personal information of yours that your bank should have. However, you end up finding out that they're scammers. How did they get this information? How is it that these guys do not work in the bank? They do not work in anywhere where they should have access to your private data, and they still do. Yet they are calling you, trying to either swindle money out of your account, or trying to hack your social media accounts, be it WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook accounts, or even your email addresses at some point. Please call in, share your thoughts, share your comments, share your experiences, on these issues. I, for one, have been, I would say, not a victim, but I have witnessed some of these issues, talking about someone calling your number to say, hello, good morning, I'm sure you're so and so person, your date of birth is so and so date. We sent a text message to your number. The first one was actually someone saying that they had sent a text message to my number to verify my code for a meeting that they had, on a WhatsApp group that I belonged that time. And they had sent me a verification code to log into my WhatsApp. Apparently, they had gotten, access to my phone number, and they just needed that code, to finally gain entry into my WhatsApp. And then that would have been the end for me if I, didn't know in time that this was probably a scam caller. And I'm sure a lot of us have stories like that. They would say they are from social bank, they need your ATM information, and they also need your ATM password as well. And unfortunately, some Nigerians have fallen victim, for things like this, and they've lost money, they've lost, data. Some of them lost data, some of them lost money, some of them lost so much more. So please call in, tell us about your experience, tell us what the government should be doing to ensure that Nigeria's data is protected. Nigerians' data is encrypted to ensure, that all of these persons who are engaged in all sorts of illegal, scamming activities do not continue to have access to monies, to the accounts, and, to the personal properties of these Nigerians who are working hard every day, me and you, who are working hard every day to make ends meet. And then someone comes, all because, they have access to this information, and they take this and they use it as they like. Well, the information was first put out, during an investigative report by the FIJ, which exposed a website called expressverify.com.ng, which they claim has been specializing in the sale of Nigerians' data, from NIN data to BVN data to literally any data that you can think of. Get this, for as low as 100 naira. So any Tom, Dick, and Harry could have gone on that website to get literally any kind of data they wanted about Nigerians, and they would have gotten it for 100 naira. Now, this was what sparked, the outrage, or would I say the flame that has now snowballed into what we are seeing now. Another website, AnyVerify, was also flagged for doing the same thing. As of today, I saw a story that the NIMC had also, flagged 5 other websites, giving a disclaimer that they do not authorize the website to carry out the activities, especially the sale of digital data and contents that they've been engaged or exposed to. So these are some of the background that brings us to the issue of how a lot of Nigerians, millions of Nigerians daily, are being scouted or are being prospected for all sorts of elaborate illicit scams that involves the use or the use of their personal data, stealing of their personal information. Identity theft, of course, is now becoming, a thing to reckon with in Nigeria, where someone's personal information will be used for the purchase of items online that he didn't authorize. All of these issues are becoming more rampant in Nigeria. So the question is, what should we do as Nigerians to protect ourselves from these data breaches? What should the government also do to protect Nigerians from all of these data breaches? I understand that the Nigerian Data Protection Commission has since been established with an empowering act as well. But the question of whether the act should be strengthened to give more responsibilities to the commission, strengthen the commission to ensure that it also strengthens Nigeria's data privacy laws and also protects Nigerians better from all of these breaches. Well, the number is already displayed on your screen. Please call in with your thoughts, with your comments, with your concerns on the issues. And I believe we now have a caller. Good morning and welcome to Daybreak on Trust TV. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing very well. Your name and your location, please.
Shetima Yakudima, calling from Maiduguri.
Shetima from Maiduguri. Thank you for joining the program. Let's hear your contribution.
Thank you. So, sincerely speaking, this thing have to be addressed and have to address in 2 ways.
Okay.
One, government must impose a law of reckless handling of record. You will see that sometimes your organization, while you are working in the state office, while your head office was in Abuja, they will send a circular requesting some data from you. And by the time you fill that data form, you send it to them. After they have started what they want, they dump the forms outside. And that's how these people get in the form and get your information on it. And secondly, the oath of secrecy has been neglected nowadays. I know before, if you are handling people's records, government will give you oath of secrecy. That you have promised or you have taken oath that you will not reveal any records of anybody.
Okay.
So people were not trustworthy nowadays.
Okay.
People are blind, looking for money anyhow.
Shatima, if I may ask, have you had experience of some of these things that we are talking about? Someone call you to say it's from so and so place, requesting for either your card details or your BVN information, or even maybe your WhatsApp two-factor authentication number. Have you experienced any of this, an attempt to swindle you or scam you?
Honestly speaking, I was contacted twice.
Okay, what did they say?
When I received the call, he said he's a bank personnel. He's looking for my BVN number. I tell him, look, gentlemen, there is no way bank can call me and say I should sell my BVN number. If there is any problem with my bank will call me to say, we need your attention, come to the bank.
Yes, indeed.
But that's how he switched his form and he did not call me again.
So what would you now advise Nigerians to do so as to prevent them from falling victims to elaborate scams like this?
My advice to Nigerians is they should ignore anybody that called them to punish or to supply their information to him. They should be aware that an organization, if you have problem with you, he will call you. Even your bank, if have problem with you, it will call you directly. Then you go to the bank and supply all the information, all the necessary information they want.
Okay. All right then. Thank you so much for the contribution, Chetima.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Have a nice day.
You too. Chetima there, all the way from Maiduguri, saying that the government needs to strengthen its data protection law as well as oath of secrecy. Talking about his experience, someone called him saying that it requires his BVN, but then, him having knowledge of the way some of these guys operate, stated that, well, my bank will never call me to ask for BVN information directly. If they need any information from me, they would have requested that I go to any branch to supply them with that information. This is the message. If anybody calls you saying he needs so and so information from you pertaining to your bank or any other place, if it's a personal information, do note that your bank or anybody will never call you to ask you for this personal information over the phone. If you have issues with your account, it's going to be settled at a bank branch, not over the phone. Of course, except it's your account officer. So please call in with those comments and share your thoughts as well. Good morning, welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, good morning. Okay, I think we lost that caller. Also, like I was saying, well, do well to do your due diligence. Also, no bank, no financial institution will request for your personal information via telephone. So the moment somebody starts saying, just call your, ATM pin or call your ATM card number, please desist. Good morning, welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning. This is Mr. Emmanuel calling from Cairo.
Emmanuel from Cairo, welcome to the program. What's your thoughts and contribution?
Yes, thank you. Data is sensitive and data is money. In fact, no country develops without data. And selling of this, the display of this data through linking of NIN and other platforms. The challenge you have there is this criminal attitude of some young people who are into different funding schemes. Most times your data, your details are displayed via NIN. People begin to copy, photocopy, send and all that. But then, it's the good one. It's great jobs, but the security aspect must be taken with seriousness.
Okay.
And I want to appreciate Trust TV. You people are doing great work. This is what we call developmental journalism.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. However, have you had a personal experience with any of these scam artists?
Pharmacist. Okay, yes, I have. Yes. Each time I buy drugs from pharmaceutical stores, there's this code they do send them.
Okay, Mr. Emmanuel, I was asking if you have had experience with any of these scammers who call to say, please give us your ATM information and the likes.
Thank you very much. That is that is one of the worrisome. That is one of the serious problems we're facing. Somebody call you that I am your account manager. Your ATM has expired. Come in 6 digits. Somebody will send message to you. Your account has been credited. You have the digital code and they come and make the bank. We are aware of them, but people who are greedy, who are desperate, they are always victims. I'm not greedy, I'm not desperate. So people must be psychologically, balanced. So that, when such criminal tendency comes up. But greed is most people that fall victim are greed, they are desperate. So if not, somebody is telling you that your account, okay, where's your bank? I'm coming. Say, don't come. Before you know, they will cut off the call.
Well,
I say, where's your
Emmanuel, greed, desperate, yes, but some people they just don't have the education, if you would agree with me.
Yeah.
I mean, my old grandmother in the village could easily fall victim to this. So, and that's the reason why enlightenment is important.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But most of us in the city, we are still falling victim because we want to make money quickly. Where some people are so quick, some greed. If you do not work for that money, you have no connection with what they are saying. But you are so loyal to the 419. The 419 giving instruction that you send code you are sending. The 419 asks you to call your 4 digits on your. So the bank education, bank need to educate. NOA, National Revenue Agency, the bank need to collaborate to recruit more Nigerians to do massive orientation enlightenment on this racketeering of database hack.
All right. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for your contributions. Emmanuel, they're calling all the way from Karu in Nasarawa State, saying data is sensitive, data is expensive. Yes, that is true. But then again, he said most of those who fall victims to this unfortunate scam artists are desperate and greedy. Well, I may agree with him to some extent, but of course not completely, because quite a number of persons, across different communities in Nigeria that are hard to access or hard to reach might not have, all of this kind of awareness and enlightenment to be able to ward off some of these elaborate scams. Hello, good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, please give us a call back as we cannot make what you're saying due to the poor network connectivity. Please give us a call back. I'm talking about data privacy, data breaches, and all sorts of elaborate scams that some persons engage in just to swindle Nigerians out of their money. Also talking about the sale of data information, or rather the sale of data on some websites operating in Nigeria's digital space has caused some controversy about the reasons why Nigeria's data has to be more secure. Please call in to share comments, to share your experience with some of these guys who go about calling individuals asking for all sorts of personal data information. I guess we have another caller. Good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, your name and your location, please.
My name is Femi Kamarudin from Kogi State.
Mr. Femi from Kogi State, please go ahead with your contributions. Have you been, called by some of these guys who are asking for personal information?
Several times.
Several.
Even in some group, they will call me that we are in this so group. We have a online meeting that they send a code to me that I should send it back to them. I say, are you that send code to me? Why can't you get the code from yourself? And you are asking me to send it back to you. Even in a group recently, one of my sister was duped.
So
they posted inverter cooker that they are selling it. So unfortunately, my sister fell a victim. He discussed business with them. Now they say he should send some money to them. They discuss actually, and he sent the money to them. So that's how as they are discussing, they say he should send another code, that they will send code to her so that they can know how they will deliver the goods. So my sister now sent the code back to them. That's how they had our Facebook and our account number, and they are using the same, all the group my sister is, they are using that our number to also advertise themselves again in those groups.
Has she reported the phone number? I think she should report her account, as well as her phone number, so it gets blocked, and so her account is not used for these malicious activities.
Yes, she has done that.
Oh, all right then. Now this speaks, of course, to the importance of data protection. So what would you say Nigerians should do and the government in order to ensure their safety from scam artists like the ones who unfortunately duped?
We do not have policy. That's just the problem. Even though you carry the data to a legal or all this police or SSS or any other person, they will not act on it. If not, there's a gadget they can use to track those numbers and arrest them. But they will not do that. That's why they are continuing doing those things. The law is for only the poor man, only the poor masses from the grassroots.
Well, we just hope that the government lives up to its responsibilities, and of course Nigerians continue to take adequate measures to ensure their safety both online and offline. Femi, thank you so much for your contributions, calling all the way from Kogi State. Unfortunately, he said his sister fell victim to the scam, and this time it wasn't the bank but persons advertising inverter cookers. So you see that this scam is quite elaborate, with different shells and different branches. Somebody saying he sells inverter cookers, and some way somehow it turned out to be a scam to the extent that his sister got swindled and her accounts got compromised as well. And this is the reason why we need to be extra careful with the kind of conversations and the kind of access that we give online, especially when it relates to clicking malicious links. Somebody will just send you something on Facebook or on WhatsApp and say, click this link to play a game to win so and so. Some would say an iPhone 14 or an iPhone 15 or whatever it is. And I know this piques the interest of a lot of Nigerians, and that's why the previous caller was talking about how those who fall for this scam, Mr. Emmanuel, I think precisely, those who fall for this scam tend to have perhaps a heightened sense of greed and desperation, and that's the reason why they fall for it. Because like you said, something that you didn't apply for and somebody is calling you to say you won. How would you win when you did not apply for it in the first place? These are some of the pointers that you need to know, should give insights to whether this might be a scam or maybe it's somebody trying to, hack your social media accounts and the likes of that. And this is why you shouldn't give them, the opportunity to do so. And this is why we need to also pay attention, to the kind of websites that we visit. Yes, there were some, advisory at some points that one should take cognizance of websites that do not have an S after the HTTP protocol is typed. So which means that they might not be secure, and any business, that you carry out on those websites is going to be open for whoever knows to have access to. So some of these, pointers are reasons why we should be more and more careful with our online activities. And for those of us who might be taking the issue of, two-way or two-factor authentication and encryption, as a joke, perhaps this should be a wake-up call to you. It's really not a joke. You need to activate two-factor authentication on those social media accounts so as to have an extra layer of security from, some of these guys who are scampering online looking for one prey to the other to carry out their dastardly scamming acts. So please activate your two-way or two-factor authentication on your social media account, so at least when they are able to get those codes, those verification codes via text messages that are sent to you, your two-factor authentication is also there to at least prevent them. And in a situation where unfortunately they have access or they compromise your accounts, please do well to report those accounts immediately and do your due diligence by also posting wherever you can and alerting your friends that your accounts might be compromised so they don't fall victim to whoever it is that is using your account in the guise of you. Because I can tell you quite a number of persons have lost monies as a result of it. Mr. Femi mentioned that his sister was scammed as well. So please keep those calls coming in to share your experience with some of these guys who just go about calling people. They're from the bank, they are selling all sorts of things. They are there to activate your whatever it is for a group meeting on WhatsApp group chat or whatever the case might be. Call us to tell us so Nigerians can learn from your experience and also can learn to identify and point these guys out whenever they are up with their activities. Also, it's not just on WhatsApp. I know that Telegram is also becoming an issue as well, because you get all of these unsolicited messages, from all sort of Telegram groups, probably because of the size, because of the number of people who can join a Telegram group at a point. I think I heard it's over thousands, and because of that, you get all sort of people private chatting you. Well, you can stop people whose contacts you do not have from reaching out to you directly. That's a measure you can put in place to ensure that all sort of persons, unscrupulous personnel, unscrupulous individuals do not just come to your DM chatting you, telling you, all whatnot. Also be mindful of the kind of adverts that you see online. Some prices are too ridiculous for you to believe. Come on, you see, commodities going at sometimes 90% of the price. It's not even Black Friday. They are not running a promo, and they are telling you that they would sell these items to you at a fraction of the price. Pay attention to the link of those items, of those adverts that you're seeing, so you do not fall victims to them. And we have another caller. Good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Emmanuel, calling from Buhari.
Emmanuel from Buhari. Go ahead with your comments. Have you, had encounter with any of these guys?
Yes. I had encounter one.
Okay.
And it wasn't a funny issue. They called and said they sent code. At that time, I was ignorant of all those things. You get. So when I sent the code, I tell you, my account was emptied.
Unfortunately.
They emptied my account. So I found it. So I traced the account they sent it to, Kuda account, and I don't have Kuda account, but they created a Kuda account with my name. Are you there?
I'm with you. Go ahead.
Yes, they created a Kuda account with my name, my son, the complete name. So they were able to transfer the money from my first bank account to that Kuda account. And when I called Kuda, they said they don't have anything to do. I called first bank, they said they can't do anything about it. So I was stranded. The funny thing is that money was the only money I have, and my wife was pregnant then. This money was the money I wanted to go and use to buy baby things. She was almost due then. I was frustrated. I got the alert as early as 2 a.m. in the morning. When I got the alert, look, the hit that came with it, I just said, yes, they have gotten me. It wasn't like easy something. There is no authority you report these things to that they will take it up.
Indeed.
There's supposed to be some agencies that are functioning. That when you report this thing to, that they will provide solutions to it.
They will take it up and investigate.
Keep on going.
So what's your call to Nigerians now, and as well to the government, to ensure that issues like this are reduced to the barest minimum?
My brother, I know there are agencies, understand, that are responsible. When you report these cases, they feel reluctant. Most of the workers are just there. They are not doing anything. They are just waiting for more time for them to receive their salary. That's all. When you call them, they will look into it. They will not do anything. So how do we push these people to do their work? And for my advice to Nigerians is that they should be aware of all those things. Information is power. Understand? Not every code you see on your phone or any app or message they just send you, they say accept or decline. You just accept. When you accept, that is all. So I will advise them that they should be more careful about all these information.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, with your contribution there. Calling all the way from Buhari in the FCT Abuja, narrated an unfortunate ordeal that he had with these scammers who unfortunately compromised his bank account, went as far as opening another bank account in his name and transferred his resources to that account, and that was how he lost his monies. Now this brings us to the issue of these data breaches that we're talking about, these websites that sell all of this personal information. So when you have an idea of what they use them for, which means that if they have your personal information, they can as well do a lot of things, including committing all sorts of crimes in your name. And when that happens, the data is going to show that this was you and not anybody else, and you're going to have a hard time explaining to the authorities how it is you and not a scammer or somebody who did it in the guise of you. And this is the reason why you have to be very careful with all of those messages that comes into your phones, with all of those calls that come saying they are so person. Some of them even come in the guise of federal government grants. Yes, I understand, because I've received them too. I'm sure that most of those who are watching me right now either directly know somebody who has fallen victim for this or have been contacted themselves. Please, this is the reason why you need to call in to share your experience so that other Nigerians can learn from them and so they do not fall victims to these elaborate scams, especially at this time where one would consider the economy, to be quite tight and Nigerians to be going through quite a lot. This is not a time for Nigerians to be losing money. That I can tell you for free. So please call in with those comments, call in with those experiences, call in with those contributions as to how Nigerians can protect themselves or identify, these scammers, and what you feel that the government should do to ensure data protection in Nigeria and data security in Nigeria, so Nigerians' data do not end up finding its way to the internet where one can easily purchase for as low, as 100,000. Yes, it is quite embarrassing, but then there's quite a lot of stuff that can be done, and that can only be done if those who have experienced it, those who have had a first-hand encounter of it, speak up to bring Nigerians abreast of some of the antiques. Good morning, welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, good morning. Unfortunately, we lost that caller again. Yes, and another one, I don't know, for some reason, I've had quite an encounter with them as well. So probably I should tell you about my own experiences. They would also come in the guise of betting companies. Of course, we know this. They will come in the guise of different other means. They told you marketers, banks, groups on WhatsApp. These are some of the different ways. There are also many other elaborate ways that they do some of these things. But then if you do not have information, like they say, information is power, you will not be able to identify them. So social media, off social media, those conversations that you have, and also you might have situations where either a friend or a family's account would have already been compromised. But then I'll tell you, you have friends, family whose accounts have been compromised, and they would reach out to you making all sorts of requests. That's where you also need, to pay more attention and be careful. When you know that you probably have not heard from this person in quite a while, and then they reach out to you saying, please, I need money to do, so and so. Please send me so and so amount, and I'll refund the money in due course. Some would say in 24 hours, some would say the next morning. They usually operate, late in the evenings. Please beware of those kind of people and do well to cross-check and confirm whether the account of that friend or family of yours has been compromised or not. But then we have another caller. Good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, good morning. And we lost that caller as well. Unfortunately, it seems like we're having, quite a bit of challenge talking about the network connectivity. Please continue to call so we get those questions, so we get those comments, experiences as well. And also do well to send us messages on WhatsApp as well, as we look forward to reading them and sharing them with Nigerians so they could learn one or two from them. Now, talking about those experiences, with family and friends who might have had a compromised account reach out to you. I know of situations where, one had lost quite an amount. I think it ran into millions because, the WhatsApp account was compromised, and this person, because this person was, quite highly placed, the person who compromised the account reached out to his friends, and he was able to get quite a reasonable amount. It was a lot of money from these guys. However, we have another caller. Good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Johnson Saleh from Kubwa.
Shamsu from Kubwa. All right, go ahead with your contribution.
The issue is this. It's because the law is not working in this nation. If the law is working, how can an individual have my bank details? If the bank should be held responsible, because somebody will call you, give you all your details. This is the year you were born. Every details you give to the bank, they will give it to you. The next thing, your money, you will just be receiving a lot. You will run to the bank. They will tell you that they are not aware of it. Are they not the originator of the fraud?
So you feel the banks are the originators of the fraud?
The bank are the originators of the fraud. What are we saying?
Well,
how can I bank with you? Then my money was before the day.
What if I told you? What if I told you?
If I keep something with you now, then tomorrow I come and tell you, give me. You are telling me that you can't find it.
Okay, so what if I told you that I've had a personal experience where someone had called me saying that they were from my bank, and I asked which bank. The person said, of course, your bank now. Now, hold on. Stay with me. Now, I mentioned 2 banks that I didn't bank with at all. I didn't have an account in any of these banks. And the person still picked the wrong bank. So, which means there is a possibility that your bank might just well not be aware, of the situation. Don't you think?
Don't support any banker. They are aware.
No, I'm not supporting them. What I'm doing is playing the devil's advocate to say that there might be a possibility that these scams do not originate from the bank. There might just be a possibility. I'm not exonerating them. I'm just saying there might be a possibility that it may not have originated from your bank.
Not at all. They are involved.
All right. So
they are involved.
Tell us about your experience then. Tell us about your experience.
Somebody called me from Lagos at the branch where I opened my account and told me that it's now the new account officer. I said, well, a female. I said, welcome. The next thing, he told me that he will send a code to me that they are trying to do one or two upgrading. I should just answer some few questions. That there is a mistake in my date of birth. That I should just correct my date of birth.
Okay.
I just gave them only my date of birth. The next thing, my money was just going pam, 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 pam. I run to Echo Bank. They are telling me rubbish.
So now I see the reason why you would not agree when they say that the bankers are not involved.
And if you run to the police will not do anything. Are we living is this a nation?
Well, quite an unfortunate experience that you've had.
Working. The security men are not working. Nothing is working.
So what would now be your advice to Nigerians to protect themselves from unfortunate situations like this?
There is a saying that experience is the best teacher. Me, I have experienced it. Call me from anywhere. Tell me that you are from so and so. As soon as you finish, I will tell you only. Whether you are true or not, I will tell you only. Don't call my number again. I will cut it off.
So Nigerians should be wary and should pay more attention to some of these unknown numbers that call.
And they should also look into the bank. Look into it deeply. They have connection with it. Like that man said, they will dump people's documents. Go to the offices. You will see that people's documents, they are using to sell akara in the streets. How do they get it? If you are done with those documents, why will you not trash it or burn it? People document, they will be using to sell akara in the streets. Is this fair?
Quite an unfortunate situation there. However, thank you so much for your contribution. We definitely hope that the authorities do the right thing to ensure that Nigeria's data is protected and to ensure Nigeria's digital space is more secure from the activities of scam artists such as those going about calling individuals with an intention to scam them of their monies and their savings. Thank you very much for the call and also for the contributions. Please, for those attempting to call, please don't stop. Continue to call so as to share your thoughts, your comments, and your contributions on the situation. We've learned quite a number, of the antiques so far, following, quite a number of our callers who have called to share their experiences. And all of these experiences, we know in one way or the other, will help inform Nigerians on what not to do and what to do when some of these calls or these text messages or those WhatsApp messages or messages from any of their social media accounts come in. They know what to do and they know who these persons are, at least from these experiences that have been shared so far. Good morning, welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Warri.
Warri, what's your name, sir?
I'm a woman, Mrs. Shari.
An Iman from Warri. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, I'm Mrs. Shari from Warri.
All right, go ahead.
What I want to contribute is this. What I think I want to agree with the last caller that said the systems in Nigeria are not working. Because what is the use of NIN? If the NIN is being used, how can somebody use another number to call the bank and my name will appear there? So the point is that if this NIN and this BVN, they are actually working, these things will not take place.
Well, Animan, the issue now is not just the NIN, because currently these NINs you're talking about are being sold for as little as 100 naira online. So which means anybody can access, people's NIN and other bank details online for as low as 100 naira.
Yes, but what we are saying is that sometimes when you go to the phone to register phone, you will register your own name in that phone.
Yes,
so
indeed.
by the time you use true caller to call you, another person's name will be showing. In other words, these people that are selling these phones, they are also using people's phone number to give to another person. So these are the things. Let our systems work, whereby you cannot penetrate into another person's area. That is where this can work.
Indeed.
And like that man said, you will use it. I've seen secret documents being used to sell akara. Court documents, secret ones being used to sell akara. Let our systems work. If our systems are working, these things cannot take place. How can somebody say they are kidnapping somebody and using somebody's phone number to call and they cannot trace the person?
Well, that's the billion-dollar question, Anima.
Our systems work. How can children be solved? Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you so much. All the way from Warri Delta State there with her contributions. Well, there's this meme I saw some time ago on social media where they say if you want to see details or documents from Nigerians across different ministries, departments, agencies, and the likes, just go to your roadside suya or akara seller. You will see all of that: certificates, birth certificates, school leaving certificates, and all sort of sensitive documents are being used as carrying pack to sell either bean cake, akara in local parlance, or suya, and the likes of that as takeaway packages. And you look at those documents and you ask, where do these guys get all of these documents from? And I understand it when viewers say all of this add up to some of the data breaches that we're talking about. Another experience of mine, personally, I finished, my compulsory National Youth Service Corps, and just a couple of months in, someone calls me and says he's from so place. We served together during, the youth service scheme, and that he had managed to secure me an appointment, a juicy appointment in one of these, top oil companies. Expectedly, as one that was fresh out of NYSC, I was supposed to be excited. Yes, I was not, because I was aware of this elaborate schemes. And anyways, I followed through until he told me that I had to pay a mobilization fee of, was it 50,000 naira or so? I can't remember. But then again, that was when, I had it, and I told him, like the other caller said, you're a criminal and I will not fall for this. So this is another way, by and large, that these guys would use. If you're currently a serving corps member, or you served at any point and you had experience, this kind of experience, then it's definitely not new to you. But please call in, share your thoughts, share your experiences, so Nigerians can learn. Because I understand that they say the best way to learn is through experiences, but it is through your own experiences that other Nigerians would be able to, sit up and also be able to identify all of these elaborate ways that these guys would use. They try a lot of ways. Trust me, sometimes they can be convincing. Like in the situation of the previous caller that said they called him all the way from his Lagos branch where he had opened his account. Who would have expected that somebody would have had information to the extent of knowing that he opened his account in a Lagos branch? You see, these are the issues. So Nigerians, please pay attention to your two-factor authentication, two-way verification, to at least add that extra layer of security to your social media accounts. Beware of malicious calls, malicious messages, to your phones, to your social media accounts, telling you they are from so place, advertising so products to you. Beware of those malicious links. Trust me, those links are as dangerous as those callers calling you. And the moment you click them, you do not know how much of your data you've given to those websites, those malicious websites, the moment you click them to open them on your phones, your laptops, or any of your devices. Please pay close attention to some of them, because if you do not, you might end up unfortunately falling victim to them. Somebody said all he gave was his date of birth, and that was enough reason for them to wipe out his account. How much more the next unsuspecting persons? And with that, that wraps up the Daybreak Interactive for today. For those who called in, thank you so much for the calls. Thank you so much for the contributions on the program. For those who are not able to, well, tomorrow is another day. And we'll go on a quick break. When we return, Daybreak continues. Stay with us.